Hey guys, Coach Mitch here. So we need to go over 4 things you have to understand about the Secret Service Super Interview. First thing is this: a lot of people think it's some kind of conversation. It isn't a conversation. They may seem like they're having a conversation with you. You may think they're having a conversation with you, but they're not. It's a scored evaluation. So they're not listening to your story. Scoring you right there from the start for a judgment, integrity, communication, emotional maturity, and mission value. Those are the things they're having a conversation with you about, but they're not really doing that. They are scoring you for that. If you cannot discern between the Secret Service super interview and a civilian interview, you're gonna have problems already. This is why they have such a high fail rate. Over 65% of people who go for the Secret Service super interview fail the first time because they don't have any idea what they're up against. My clients pass at a 90.4% success rate. Last year, now one of my over 100 students did not pass the Secret Service super interview. They all passed the first time. So you got to understand that. If you don't understand that scoring model right from the beginning, it's not a conversation. You consider yourself walking in blind. Number 2 is how you answer the question matters more than what happened. You're thinking, sometimes we get caught in the STAR format, right? Situation, task, action, result. It doesn't really apply the situation and task to this interview process. Action and result bear more weight. So they're looking at how you think, how you decide, and how you act under pressure in the stories that you give them. That's what they're looking for, is what are you going to do to make yourself different and separate from your competitors. They want to know, what is this person going to do that's so different from Jane, Larry, Joe, and Mo regarding the situation that they're telling us about. That's what they're looking for. The super interview is designed to eliminate the unprepared. So if you're not ready for this, if you don't understand their mission, how to integrate the mission to your answers, if you don't understand your own history, so what do you mean by your own history? It's my life, Coach Mitch. Yes, it's your life, but many of you do not know how to deliver your life experiences so that it makes sense to a Secret Service panel. So what does that mean further? Judgment, decisions, emotional maturity. Are you folding those into your life story? How many times have you heard people tell a story about themselves, whatever, but missing those key elements because they don't have to worry about that? But for the Secret Service super interview, we have to integrate those aspects into your story. Otherwise, it's just not a good story and they don't want to hear it because you're not putting forth the Secret Service mission into your story. Do you understand that? People who are untrained and not ready for this interview always underestimate that part, and they do become what? Kicked out because they don't get it. Last one's this, you guys. Preparation makes it so you can get past this part of the process. The super interview is designed for the prepared. Now, they may tell you, oh no, we're just going to ask you some questions. Guys. You have to be prepared. This takes repetition of your story. This takes rebuild. I have yet to have a client ever for the super interview where didn't have to rebuild their stories at least 2 times, usually it's 3 times. Rebuilding has to take place to make sure you're delivering a good product to this super interview panel. Always have to rebuild, it seems, right? So it sounds confident. Your story must be confident because it's your story, right? Deliverable. How do you deliver it? What variables are you throwing into this final answer for them via your life lived? Last thing is mission. Does your answer come close to their mission? This is where we have to rebuild again. People, I tell you, people sometimes go to these interviews, right? Because I have a few people in the field that I know, and they sit down in these interviews and they just talk about whatever. It's got nothing to do with anything at all. They're completely unprepared, and they never get a call back, and they can't figure out why. Because you walk in there unprepared. People who come to me after they failed the first time, I find out very fast. They have these great stories to tell. They just told them the wrong way, didn't add the right ingredients, and didn't understand what they're saying. And when I say ingredients, I don't mean lies. I mean truth with their stories, but they're missing key components. The super interview does not reward potential. It rewards preparation. This is why I'm busy all the time with my super interview clients, because they understand it's about preparation. If you are serious about this process, this is not something you leave to chance, saying, oh, I've had a lot of interviews before, it'd be no problem. You've had a lot of civilian interviews before, but you haven't had a lot of federal level law enforcement interviews before. And I'm sure you never had a super interview before either. This is serious business. Do not leave this up to chance. I've seen too many people have their dreams dashed across the rocks because they didn't come prepared. If you're serious about this, contact me, Coach Mitch, in my description below. Get into my coaching program. I will get you ready for your super interview. Manuel did it 2 days ago. He just passed, right? He's my first client this year who passed. All last year, I didn't have one fail. Not one fail last year. Manuel's already starting off the situation where we're going to have a bunch of winners and champions this year too. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.